It has nothing to do with
fall
me.
to pieces.
I'm not a
Walk in
Jew.
the men in the room, stop swinging their dicks
Fight,
in
fight,
public.
fight, fight, fight.
Claire, would you explain to him
when
that
the
a Jewish
Messiah
book is written
arrives,
for Jews, not for
the Messiah
Gentiles? Would you
arrives.
explain
Over
that to him? 'Cause
time,
I'm
the
not getting through to
Gentiles
him.
are subdued. They no longer do evil. You can forget about rape, murder, porn. You can forget about pagan sex rights of fucking each other in the face just because you want to be friends with your fellow pagan. That's going bye-bye. The Viking world goes bye-bye. The fucking Wicca world goes bye-bye. All of it goes bye-bye.
All right, Sammy, thank you. Thank you so much. Please. Thank you. All right. Claire, how are you doing today?
Hi, John.
I'm
What's
doing
up,
great.
Claire? What's going on?
I wanted to commiserate with you about the Trump verdict.
What's your opinion on them throwing the book at Trump?
Well, obviously they're so scared of him that they feel they have to risk so much because if the people don't believe in the court system anymore, then they're actually more liable to take the law into their own hands. So they're creating a risk for themselves. So
the Democrats are actually hurting themselves by doing this.
Correct, shooting themselves in the foot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, every time they do something to Trump, his approval rating goes sky high. So I mean, you would think they would figure that out by now, but apparently not.
They buy a clue, yeah.
Yeah, they need to buy a clue. That's right. They need to. I'd like.
So, Claire, what have you been doing on your channel? What's new on your channel, and what have you been doing lately?
I've been on Spaces most of the time, streaming with Vincent. He's still on his no hide laws. He was talking about Stu Peters today. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah,
Stu Peters, he's a nice guy. People call him an anti-Semite, though.
Yes. So Vincent was getting a little nervous about Stu Peters saying he was going to make it criminal to be gay, and then he was going to burn all the tranny books from the.
Well, according to Sammy,
like Nick Fuentes, he's about Catholic restorationism and Catholic theocracy in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that's so crazy. I mean, I know that's kind of what E. Michael Jones wants, and E. Michael Jones is very entertaining, and he is philosopher and rhetorician, and I mean he seems to be the most intellectual of all the intellectuals on the dissident right, and I mean he is quite entertaining to watch, particularly since he's been to Eastern Europe, on a cruise and talking about things there. But the thing is, it's just so weird because he seems to think that he can establish a Catholic monarchy or something in America.
Yeah, he literally. Nick Fuentes literally wants a Catholic theocracy. He wants to take America and turn us into a theocracy. And I need to do a rebuttal video to him. He will never watch it because apparently, I'm persona non grata these days. But I really need to do a rebuttal video because he literally wants a Catholic theocracy in the United States. The problem is that if America becomes a Catholic theocracy, freedom of religion goes right out the fucking window. That's the only problem with converting us from a republic into a theocracy.
Yeah, because it would be profoundly un-American.
With his argumentation that it's the, as he calls it, the majority culture or the majority kind of ethos, and then everybody else gets respected, just like in the Roman Empire. You have the main church, and then you have some tolerance for other types.
Right,
but that never worked out with Catholicism. But they always wanted more and more power. They're power hungry.
Correct.
Just like the Roman Empire.
Correct. Well, they are the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
The Catholic Church is the Roman Empire. They just changed names. They're still the Roman Empire. They just went covert instead of overt. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, the Roman Empire survives through the Catholic Church. But I mean, I just find it so frustrating that people don't understand. It's like, well, America is supposed to be a constitutional republic. And obviously a constitutional means, it's a piece of paper with rules on it.
Correct.
And the question is, well, what rules, whose rules, etc. And obviously the Bill of Rights is not enough. You need something more. And I'm going to say
rules. The Constitution is the people's rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the people can't agree, and so it's got to be God's rules.
Oh, the people's rules are based on God's rules. I mean, they're rules that you can. What happened?
Well, I'm just saying there needs to be a document, and I guess the first one would be the Torah, and so the Jews kind of went with it, and then they broke their own rules, and then they
I think obviously we all.
Now wait a
You
minute.
know what's going to be hard? Let me say. Give me a second. You know what's going to be the hardest thing for America to rehabilitate itself from? Honestly, because it's gotten so addicted to it. Sexual indecency, sexual immorality. That's the hardest thing to go cold turkey from.
Extramarital
sex. Sodomy used to be against the law in the United States. It used to be against the law. And, of course, the AMA.
A lot of things used to be against the law in the United States.
Sodomy used to be against the law in the United States. In fact,
and adultery.
In fact, it was considered a mental condition, curable mental condition, I might add. You went and seen a shrink or a doctor or whatever, and they either doped you up or sat you on a couch or something or whatever it is they done. But they said it was curable. They said it was a curable mental disorder. Now, in 1971, though, the AMA gets huge sums of cash from an undisclosed location. And then in 1972, it goes from a curable mental disorder to an alternate lifestyle. Now, I have my theories on who gave them that huge wad of cash, and his name starts with Rothschild, but I'm just spitballing here. But that would be my guess.
Beyond the abnormality or the deviance that is homosexuality, you also have chemicals being introduced into the food.
Correct.
And into the environment and into the water that have been proven to turn people fucking gay.
Yeah. When Alex Jones said talking about the frogs turning gay and shit, it was a jest, of course, but I mean he was actually telling the truth. There's been a lot of chemicals that have been put in our water, and I don't know if they've been filtered out. I keep hoping that Maya has filtered out all that shit, because I sure don't want to drink that filth, but you don't know. You don't know what you're getting. That's why I encourage everyone to go out and get a high-powered filter for your house water, so that when when the water comes into your home, it's filtered out real good.
They do autopsies of like men's testicles,
yeah,
and it's filled with so much microplastics and all this other garbage.
Yeah,
it's sickening. It's like that's why they do. I think they do it on purpose. They want to sterilize us. They want to depopulate the human species.
Yeah.
They believe that the earth is overpopulated.
And America is their primary testing ground, because that's where they have the most power and influence and say. Why is it that America is still the main place where fluoridation takes place around the world? Europe has gotten off of fluoridating the water. Israel wised up and stopped fluoridating the water. Mm-hmm. America is still dead set on fluoridation. After all of the evidence and all of the tests were run, after all of the research, and everybody there still is drinking fluoridated water, but it's not even just fluoride. It's fucking all the runoff from the agriculture, all the chemicals, all the drugs in your water. All right? There's no wonder your water is free. Everywhere in the world, people pay for water. In America, it's free. But guess what?
Well, I pay water bill. It's not that much money. It's like $10 a month, $5 a month. It's not much.
It's very cheap. But
very
still,
cheap.
What's the expression? What's the saying? Is that when it's free, you know that you're the dupe. You're the actual product.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right. So in America, the water there, even if it's free, it's poisonous.
Yeah. Well, that's why I say get a powerful filter for your house, so that when the water comes into your house, it's been filtered very well, and you get all them impurities out of the water. It's very difficult to get fluoride out of the water, apparently. You have to have a really powerful filter to get the fluoride out of the water. Why is fluoride such a pain in the ass? I don't know, but that's what I've heard. I've heard you have to have a really powerful filter to get the fluoride out of the water, but it can be done. It can.
What's wrong with the fluoride?
Fluoride. Okay, fluoride. If you use fluoride topically, okay, let's say you brush your teeth with fluoride and you spit it out in the sink and get rid of it. Okay, that might not be so bad, but when it gets into your bloodstream and it gets into your bones, it actually starts to weaken your bones. This has been proven scientifically. Fluoride actually weakens your bones.
So fluoride also dumbs you down.
And supposedly it dumbs you down as well.
It was known by the Germans in World War II. The Nazis actually used fluoride.
They actually used fluoride on the Jews and Americans in the concentration camps. Yes, they did. But here's the thing. I lived in Ohio, okay, for 20 years. And the fluoride was so strong in the water that the water actually had a physical odor. You could actually smell the fluoride in the water. It was that strong. All right. And I absolutely believe that the reason I don't have teeth today is because of the fluoride in the Ohio water. Because
it's supposed to be good for your teeth, isn't it? Fluoride
literally started.
No, if you ingest it, it rots your bones.
It rots from the inside out. Yeah,
and your teeth are enamel and bone.
Right, correct. They're enamel and bone, and if it gets in your bloodstream, it rots you from the inside out, just like you said. It rots you from the inside out. It weakens your bones, and see, your bones are critical. Because your bones have bone marrow, and that bone marrow is what creates blood for your bloodstream. And so, it's an attack on your system. It's a literal attack on your system. And that's why fluoride is so dangerous. Because if fluoride destroys your bones, and especially
all these things are an attack on your
system,
you're
screwed, man. You're screwed because then
every industry is aimed towards killing human beings. I mean,
yes,
whether it's vaccinations, whether it's big pharma, whether
you do a Google search on fluoride calcifies the pineal gland.
Right.
You'll get National Institute of Health in the United States saying different studies indicated that the pineal gland calcification was significantly associated with fluoride.
Right.
All right. Fluoride intake.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
And it causes neurodegenerative diseases. Fluoride.
Correct.
So Vaughn, what did your dentist say about your teeth? Did he give a reason? Did he say it was fluoride or?
Never gave a reason. But of course, by the time I got to him, my teeth had already broken down into little bitty chunks. And basically all he was doing was taking chunks out of my jaw. And and then trying to give me some dentures. And
I'll say this out of my own personal experience, having traveled around the world and returned to the United States and to New York. I'll vouch for this information from having a personal experience with it. All right, I went to Europe for a good long summer or a long vacation or trip backpacking. Mm-hmm. And my mind cleared up from not drinking that shit and from not being in the environment, the poisonous environment that is America, with the sick culture, the lack of nutrition, the poisoned food. And, I arrived there. Everybody was looking at me like, where did this guy come from? He looks like a model. He looks healthy. He looks like he's alive. It didn't take more than 2 weeks to up to a month, and I was back to being a fucking American schlub, a zombie, a quasi-zombie with fucking brain fog and fucking confusion. And I felt it. I saw myself degenerating slowly, and I felt the clarity of
supplements, nitro boost,
stream of consciousness was fading. Mm-hmm. That's what America will do to you. That's what that environment does to you. That's what the food and the water and the culture there does to you.
And the best way to decalcify yourself is take some iodine.
Right. Mm-hmm. And you sell those?
No, I
John?
get it off the No, I get it off the internet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I you know what? I should start selling these things. These are good. I swear by it, man. And I also take Vaughn's Secret Weapon, some black seed oil.
Yep.
Man, I feel healthier now than I ever did.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me,
I
John,
haven't been sick in 4 years.
Hollywood and all that other crap, doesn't that clear up your mind and the brain fog goes away?
Oh yeah, not watching Hollywood, not watching movies.
Oh
and
yeah,
TV.
I haven't watched TV and movies in years, and I've got clarity of mind. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I
No
do.
joke. Yeah.
The only thing I watch is the Weather Channel, and every now and then, every once in a blue moon, I might turn on Fox News. That's it. That's all I watch. I watch the Weather Channel. That's it. And most of the time, I'm on the internet looking at it anyway, so I don't need to watch that really.
Can't stand anything on Netflix. I can't stand anything from
I
American
can't afford Netflix.
popular culture. I mean, it's all shit. It's all garbage. It's all toxic. It's all obnoxious.
Of course it is. It's all woke bullshit now. I mean, what do you think Geeks and Gamers talks about all the time? Netflix, because all the shit went woke. Batwoman is a woke feminist piece of shit, and just all the the Marvel movies have now went woke. They're pieces of shit. Everything that was good, everything that was awesome and wholesome, it's all went to shit now because of wokeism, SJW, feminism, or something akin to that. It's all went to shit. Every bit of it.
Do you think our
no good.
beliefs make us stupid? Because if you believe a certain thing, then well, maybe you don't really work out what the problem is. If you an example would be, you blame a certain group for everything that goes wrong. So maybe you don't fix a problem because you're too busy blaming them. While if you thought,
well, you know what causes I was thinking about this earlier today, sort of strangely enough, coincidentally, is that the clarity of mind and stream of and the stream of consciousness and actual a sort of an ability to see straight, is limited, and it becomes marginalized when you believe in a false God, when you believe in a Jesus. All right, when Jesus has been debunked and he's a falsehood, but still you insist on believing in him, you kind of destroy your ability to think clearly.
I did that with monotheism. It worked great. I feel a lot better.
It makes you dumb, is what you're saying. Jesus
I feel a lot better now.
Yeah, basically.
yeah, because I don't think people are scared of Jesus. They might be scared of God, but they won't be scared of, some man dying on a cross.
He's a lawyer. Of course, they're going to be afraid of him. He's a lawyer.
He's an avatar for the
You ever known
state.
anybody that wasn't afraid of a lawyer?
The fucking Caesar is what he is.
Well, yeah, his name is Titus Flavius, and he was a Caesar. That's right. But I mean, seriously, what do you think an advocate is? It's a lawyer. That's what that word advocate means. It's a lawyer. We're going to kill 90% of all life on Earth to get a lawyer. Why?
Yeah, but it's this Dark Ages,
90%.
Post-classical invented.
I say kill all the lawyers, because that's my position.
When he was constructed and engineered and actually dump people down. This was the actual original intent and construction. He was engineered to dumb people down, to destroy people's ability to think.
Well, no, what he was designed to do was
destroy your ability to fight back.
No,
that's what it is. It takes away your manhood. It cuts your balls off. It makes you a eunuch.
But anyway, what it was designed to do. What it was designed to do.
Make you a good little serf. You pay your taxes. You work on the farm.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, what it was designed to do.
You shut the fuck up and you don't talk back.
And when Jesus is no longer useful or effective or as useful as he once was, you replace them with fluoride to dump.
Well, see that what Christianity was designed to do. It was designed to make you a slave to the government, and the government at the time just happened to be the Catholic Church, and so you became a slave to the Catholic Church. And we know this to be true because Jesus even told his own disciples. He said, "Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and render unto God what is God." In other words, pay your taxes like a good little slave.
Oh yeah.
Pay your taxes
And go the extra mile. What does that mean? Carry the backpack of a Roman soldier, not the prescribed mile that was ordered by law by the Roman Empire when the legions strolled by your home. You had to go carry the backpack of a Roman legionnaire for a mile. But Jesus tells them, go the extra mile and carry back for another mile. And in Romans, it's it's very clearly stated there that the state has been authorized by God Himself to rule over you.
Yeah.
How stupid do you need to be to continue believing in that shit concoction of the state? Is what he is. Stop believing in shit.
The reason people believe it because King James would kill your ass if you didn't believe. So I mean, they didn't really have a choice, Sam. King James went around slaughtering Christians by the thousands.
Yeah. And because the world has turned to a debaucherous, degenerate, decadent shit, because of the overdoing it with the liberalism and freedoms and exploiting the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, misusing it, abusing it, and then the whole world turns to shit, and then you get opportunists like Nick Fuentes, E. Michael Jones, and who's that other fuckface now? Stu Peters.
Steve Peterson or whatever.
Stu Peters. Yeah, let's revert back to the papacy and to Jizbag, the Jesus, the Jizbagus, the Jeezer, the fucking hoax.
That's the last thing you want is to go back to ancient Rome. That's the last thing you want. Because everybody
just have a semblance of some sanity and ethics, but all under the control of the goddamn Satanists, the Luciferians that worship Lucifer in the Vatican and the Church. Lucifer is the father of Jesus. Jesus is the son of Lucifer. All right. Well, how lovely.
Moloch. They worship Moloch.
A fucking viper head in the fucking Vatican.
In the Vatican.
The Fazzini Hall. Give me a fucking break. Serpent worship, devil worship. Oh, but no. The Jews are the synagogue of Satan. We're the synagogue of Satan. Have you ever heard the word projection, you Greco-Roman pagan fucks?
Going back to ancient Rome is a bad idea.
That's what I really think.
Really bad idea.
Fucking kid diddling, fucking pedophile Satanists.
They are sick.
Your fucking church is going to burn forever. That's your punishment. That's your due, well-deserved justice.
What I think the Jews are going to get their Messiah. I think the Christians are going to get their Messiah, and I think the Muslims will even get their Messiah.
Well, good for you, Vaughn. I'm glad
we pagans here in America we'll get our freedom.
God is taking over. Torah takeover. Outreach Torah takeover.
Well, I'm sorry, but the world was the Middle East back then, not America. So.
The nations, no matter what they are, all the nations, the whole world, God is the creator of the universe, and this little planet is his little
don't think your Messiah is going to
and we'll find out soon enough. When people are crawling on the fucking floor, begging for food, dying of starvation, we'll see who they'll turn to. Pagan Jesus, the pagan gods, or the one God of Israel. We'll see who
Jesus is not pagan because he's monotheistic. Come on, get it.
No, he's not. He's the triune soul. He's the fucking trinity of the pagan Babylonians, the Hindus, the fucking Egyptians, the whoever, the Phrygians. All that trinity crap is pagan shit. Idolatry.
Say it's monotheism, so
it's not monotheism. It's paganism. Polytheism. The Edomites know how to put on a good show.
Yeah,
they assume because they co-opted a monotheistic religion that they take on that moniker, monotheistic. Bullshit. You worship a man. You worship men. You worship the Caesars in disguise. You worship the Trinity. It's idolatry. It's Greco-Roman pagan. It's not even just Greco-Roman. It's Greco-Egypto, whatever, and Babylonian and Persian crap. What is it? What's the name of that fucking mix that they created over there, John, in Egypt?
Coptic?
Yeah,
No,
but
not
what happens if
the
your
guy
Messiah?
that looks almost identical to Jesus with his beard?
Oh, solipsis or whatever.
Therapist.
Yeah, but what happens? What
How's
happens?
the piss Christ and the Serapis are one and the same?
Yeah, but what happens if your Messiah tells you to bow the knee to Moloch? Then what are you going to do?
Because that's not what he's going to do.
How do you know?
We don't believe in any fucking idol or any statue or any pagan
I
guy.
agree, but what are you going to do if he does?
He's not going to.
Tell him no.
No, he's not going to.
rebel?
The one God of the universe, when he provides his deliverer, he's going to be true to the Hebrew Bible, worshiping the one God, the holy name, the ineffable name, the oneness of God, not any Phoenician, Canaanite, Moabite, a Satanistic idol of the past that demands a child sacrifice. Forget your imaginings and fantasies, because that's not going to happen. Sorry.
You just said the other day he's demanding animal sacrifice again. So what's the
see, that's where the idolaters and the Gentiles go wrong with Judaism.
Blood.
You want to make all of these convoluted
Blood is
arguments.
blood.
Oh, the Christians say, well, if the Jews are so against idolatry, then why do they worship a wall? Because you're fucking idiots. You don't know what the fucking it's called. What is it called? It's a subtlety. There's a difference. There's a distinction. You fail to believe, to understand properly. So you like to make these accusations, and when you don't understand what's nuance, and you don't understand what we
actually, you know what? The Torah says that the Jews are always go after idols. God Himself always said these Jews are always. Yeah, God Himself kills them.
Yeah, he had them wander in the desert for 40 years.
Yeah, well, that's
worshiping idols.
History. Okay, our history and our experience.
Yeah, but Sammy, you're making it sound like Jews are these innocent people that do nothing
They're
wrong.
Not. No,
they're the most evil people in the history of the human planet.
You. No, well, the whole Torah and the whole knowledge of what happened.
The
Jews were seduced by idolatry, but they still survived it. All right, and we get it all recorded in order to remind us not to do those things. Why do we have that history? Why do we get chastised by God? Why do we get punished by God? Why do we still survive to this very day? Okay, all of those centuries of knowledge and experience.
People were freed from slavery of Egypt, and they experienced God firsthand, and they still told God to go fuck himself.
Well, the Christians like to use those arguments to justify their bullshit. But in our perspective, you ask Tovia, Rabbi Singer, and that all those episodes where the Jews fall into idolatry and they're seduced into it and they succumb to it, it's all about refining the Jews and having all of this recorded in our history so we can look ourselves in the face and realize when we go wrong, worshiping false gods and idols and other gods aside from the one God. Other gods, when you talk about other gods, it's the forces of impurity and darkness that God created in order for us to go through this period of time before Messianic revelation, to have a trial, to have a test, to fail and to recover and to redeem ourselves and to do, tshuva, to become righteous.
Why slaughter billions and billions of innocent people to get that done?
Who's to say slaughter billions of people?
Well, yeah. I mean, ain't you guys been fighting shit for 2,000 years or more?
Well, we had the Christians do that. Ask Adam Green. God's will is that the pagans that destroyed our temple, the Greco-Romans, that's why God has a very wicked sense of humor, sometimes very hard to understand. All right?
I don't know about all that. I mean, Jews.
No, you ask Adam Green. I'll agree with Adam Green on one thing. The Christians and the Muslims did our dirty work. They got the pagans to basically stop worshiping false idols. A majority of the world was exposed to the one God of Israel, and it's a quasi sort of a compromise with paganism to wean them off of idolatry. All right? But Christianity is still idolatry. It's a compromise with idolatry. Islam is less idolatry, but its roots are idolatrous and pagan. One way or another, the world weaned itself off of paganism.
One way or another.
All right, the Jews didn't do the dirty work. I'll tell you that a lot of rabbis are very proud of the fact, including Mizrahi.
We got Sammy to admit that Jews get Goyim to do their dirty work for them. So that's at least we got. We're making progress.
We're making progress.
Yeah, we didn't have to behead a bunch of we didn't have to behead a bunch of fucking savages and dog fuckers. All right, killing, sacrificing their kids from all sorts of pagan gods. The Romans did that for us. Good on the Romans. All right, the Muslims did that for us. Good on them.
Sacrifice.
Whatever the Hindus, they eat shit. They eat each. They fuck each other in the ass. They do all the what do you call that? The sex rites that they have on their temple, Kama Sutra. All right, all that pagan sex.
I gotta be honest with you, Hindus, man, they do seem like a lot of. They seem like I saw another video on X. I saw this video on X. This woman had her entire face in cow shit, and she's eating it, and she's like. And worshiping her god.
They practice cannibalism in India still to this very day. They eat dead people.
Oh,
I hope not.
No, they do. There was a CNN reporter on the beach somewhere over there interviewing a cannibal that has a bunch of bones and
limbs. And then the guy wanted to eat the CNN reporter.
Yeah. Wow. That's in India. Whoa. That's in India. All right. I could talk shit about everybody. The Hindus, the good thing about them is that they hate the Muslims. And we can ally ourselves with the Hindus in order to sidetrack Islamic fundamentalism and Islamic extremism and Islamic supremism. We'll use the Hindus. If they want to be our friends, we'll have military alliance with them, even though they're disgusting idol worshippers. Fuck that. All right? It's pragmatism. But in the meantime, the Christians and the Muslims did our dirty work for us instead of us having to do it.
Okay, fair enough.
It's better than fucking idol worship and the disgusting things that you do in the name of idol worship.
Well, I don't do any disgusting things.
Not you. I'm just saying other pagans.
And I'm told not to
fucking call them
disgusting things. I am told not. I am admonished not to go down a dark path. They said if you go down a dark path, you will be cut off. We have nothing to do with that. These
worshiping Baphomet and having children.
That's not me. Baphomet? I don't worship no idol.
Nick Bravo does the Baphomet worship.
Nick Bravo is the one that worships Baphomet. That's not
child sacrifices, sex rights, orgies, hedonism, all that. The fucking shit that the WEF is with their Kali statues and their fucking Christian.
I don't have a Kali statue.
Come on now.
Nothing to do with me whatsoever. Nothing to do
with paganism. That's the dark side of paganism.
Freedom religion has nothing to do with these other.
Well, I'll tell you, in retrospect, even though we suffered from Christians and Muslims, they cleansed the world of the sickness that is idolatry to a great extent. The Muslims admire the Jews for not being idol worshippers, and the Jews, to a certain extent, admire Muslims for not being idol worshippers. We have that in common with one another. The Christians and the Catholics, we have issues with them because it's quasi-idolatry. It's quasi-paganism. It's a compromise. Islam is less of a compromise with pagan idolatry than is Christianity.
Well, when you get your paradise there in the Middle East, I'm sure you'll be a happy camper. And, the gods that I serve.
I don't think nothing will make Sammy happy. You can have a big, beautiful blonde shiksa with a nice tight pussy sitting on Sammy's face, and he'll be screaming his brains out about the fucking world's coming to an end.
She has to convert.
That's the type of person Sammy is.
Well, see that the nice thing about paganism is that we can allow you to have your Messiah and your paradise. We can have ours. Everybody can have theirs. The Greco-Roman
pantheon of gods that goes bye-bye. We are supremacists.
Well, I have everybody.
I'll tell you, the Jews are supremacists as well.
I have everybody.
And This is for the all the marbles. This is for the whole enchilada.
I have every
bottom line. Full, complete sort of closure of history.
I am absolutely
want what you want. It's what the Greco-Romans wanted. It sounds all flowery and nice, but you're going to have a surprise because the one God of the universe is not going to compromise.
A big surprise.
Is not going to compromise with false gods, no matter what they are. Whether they're fashioned of wood, whether they're fashioned of shit, no matter what they're fashioned of, no matter if it's a concept, no matter if it's some name, it's not going to work. There's going to be the one God. That's what's going to find out. There's one God of creation. There are no gods. They're forces of darkness. They're impure beliefs. All right, and you can go ahead and be flowery and nice and push that as far as what you want to happen. You're gonna be pleasantly surprised when it's not gonna work out for you that way.
Well, when your Messiah comes and he creates Middle East into a paradise, that'll be fucking awesome.
It's delusional.
Absolutely
going against 4,000 years of
nothing to do with
tradition and beliefs.
You're not going to back them was the Middle
Sammy,
East.
can you give us at least one thing positive for the night before we go? Can you say
one thing positive?
Something positive.
Okay.
90% of the earth will be dead. That's positive.
All right. God's redemption and God's salvation. If it means captivity for the Gentiles, you're going to enjoy it.
I'm going to enjoy captivity? Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm going to be a slave for all eternity, and that's supposed to be a good thing?
No.
That's
the
not
captivity
good.
of the Satan, it's much more preferable than the captivity of the goddamn Satanists controlling you now. God's liberation of the world comes in forcing the Gentiles to stop being fucking animals. All right? You're going to stop being fucking animals. All right?
I can agree. I can dig that. I like that.
For the control of a deity. Okay. I'm still under control. I'm still not free.
There are terms. Okay, when the Messiah arrives, and you want to put two dicks in a woman's ass, you're going to die right away. You're going to be put to death. You got to do porn, you're going to die. You're going to die.
Your own Torah.
Disease, all right?
Your own Torah.
That's going to happen. Or you're going to end up dying a miserable, painful death that's going to be extended. A long and miserable, justifiable death.
Sam,
that's God's captivity. All right, America's addicted to debauchery and degeneracy.
I'm not
the
denying
sexual immorality and the sexual indecency that you are addicted to now is gonna be put to an end if you're gonna be under God's control. And you're going to be under his captivity. You're not going to be free. You're going to be slaves to the one God.
Well, here's the thing, Sammy. Here's the thing, okay? The thing of it is, if I got to be a slave, and I'm already a slave, what's changed? Nothing.
No, truth.
Nothing has changed.
Truth.
Well, in a way, Sammy, in a way, the Jews went from being slaves of Pharaoh to being slaves of God. So it's like what changed?
You're still slaves. You're not free. You're not.
No. What happens is the freedom that you find in the Western world involves debauchery, degeneracy. That's the sexual liberation. All right, you can fuck dogs, you can fuck horses, and you call that freedom and liberation. All right, that's how you manipulate the word freedom. That's how you manipulate the Bill of Rights. That's how you manipulate the Constitution. That double game, that hypocrisy goes away. When you find out
actually fucking animals is not a part of the Constitution because you're actually hurting animals, and the Constitution is
whatever the semantics and whatever the argumentation.
That is the semantics. See, that's what leftists. What the problem is, leftists manipulate the definitions of these words. It's like they say freedom is abortion. Like that's a woman's right.
Freedom is not abortion.
That's what happens in America.
That's not woman's right.
All right, that's the confusion that happens in America.
Okay, hold on, Sammy. You're
Sammy, go ahead, Johnny. Go ahead. Take the stage. Go ahead.
I don't even know what I was going to say. Well, they like they say they call abortion a medical procedure when it's not a. That's like saying I went to Times Square and I took a knife and I slit someone's throat. Well, it was a medical procedure. No, I killed someone. That's not a medical procedure.
That's right.
So they manipulate words to mean something else other than what it is. The Constitution doesn't apply to doctors killing babies or people fucking animals.
In fact,
or any other debauchery. That has nothing to do with. So if we were actually going by the intent of the founding fathers, you wouldn't have LGBTQ, you wouldn't have abortion, you wouldn't have these things because it goes against.
Well, let's use some logic here. Okay, so the Bill of Rights and the Constitution was adulterated, it was perverted, it was abused and manipulated. All right, and that's in the name of freedom, American freedom. Okay, so when Vaughn is asking about, well, what happens when you put limits, margins, controls, and you create boundaries, you limit freedom. Okay, so it's a sort of a captivity.
No, I mean that's not true. That's what I'm saying. That's not true. When you say someone can't murder, you're not limiting freedom. No, you're exercising freedom because you're saying a person has a right to live.
Correct.
You can't kill another person because that person has a right to live.
Correct.
That's not. It's limited in freedom.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. It's.
All right. So in regards to death and killing, okay, I understand.
The Constitution does two things that went against what Europe was about. That people have sovereignty, the individual has sovereignty,
Correct.
and that people have property rights.
And individual sovereignty
there
goes
was
out the
no
window.
such thing in England as a person having autonomy and a person having property rights. If you wanted to hunt land, you couldn't go to the land and hunt a deer because the land belonged to the king. It belonged to the crown.
Correct.
And if you did kill the deer for food, you were executed.
You were executed.
You were executed because you committed a crime against the state.
Correct.
The founding fathers of the United States did something extreme. They said people have rights and not government. That people have autonomy and personal, and they have property rights.
I understand all those things, the beginnings, the foundations, and everything. But look at what happened as far as all the forces and powers that want to weaken the American public, including the fifth column internal enemies, the corporations, or the ones that have it in for the American people, including twisted Jews that became bent and deviant and believing in sexual immorality as being normal or healthy. Let me finish my train of thought. Wait a minute. So where do these people get off trying to convince the American public that pornography and sexual immorality and indecency is part of free speech? All right. So the fact that they get away with this is the reason why America is in the sewer, a cesspool.
Yeah.
Cesspool.
Right, because of there are no limits.
So the official office of secular cronyism asked the question: is America a Noahide nation? Well, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Menachem Mendel Schneerson, the Chabad rabbi, the seventh Chabad rabbi, declared with Ronald Reagan. He went in the Oval Office with Ronald Reagan in
Bush.
And was it Bush? Oh, that was Reagan. Okay, he went to the White House and he declared that America is a Noahide nation that follows the 7 Noahide laws. Which means that America is Jewish compliant, meaning America.
That was a stupid ceremony, and America is not compliant with Noahide laws. America is satanic and degenerate. America is fully woke LGBTQ sickness, and it's going to get
instead of wiping it out, why not fix it?
Well, God is going to fix it because you people can't.
No, that's not.
God's not going to fix it.
What the Torah
You're empty. Rhetoric and
everybody else
is not going to fix it.
God's going to fix it like no one
what the
blood,
Torah
baby.
and the Bible says. Both of them say that shit, and the Quran even says it. Says God's going to wipe everybody out.
Go to New York and tell those big black animals to stop fucking all those white chicks in the ass, double dicking them and triple dicking them. Tell them. Tell those gorillas to stop doing that. Let's see how long you last.
I can't tell them nothing.
You're not gonna last long. We want the white women. Where the white women at?
Where the white women at?
Where the
Yeah.
white women at?
But the thing of it is, here's the thing, Sammy. The problem is that the Torah, the Bible, and the Quran, all three say that the vast majority of humanity will be wiped out.
Yeah.
There's only going to be a very small amount of humanity left.
Over time. It's not going to be right away. This is the punishment for your inability to have discipline and self-discipline. All right. This is where your freedom gets you. All right. The sexual debauchery and the sexual corruption it's beyond reprehensible in God's eyes, and it's worthy of annihilation.
Right, but freedom religion.
The annihilation that will come to you will not come in a nuclear war. It will come over generations. And guess what? COVID did that to you. The COVID vaccines. It'll skip a generation, and then your grandchildren will be.
And let's not head there. Let's not head there.
All right.
Okay. Claire, are you still alive over there? What happened? How you doing?
I'm fine. It's just easier to post stuff when the guys are talking.
When you got Sammy hugging,
so I don't get interrupted.
So go ahead, speak to us. What's going on? What's your thoughts?
I was just saying this Lubavitcher thing. Obviously, there was some ceremony, and it's called Education and Sharing Day, about the no-height laws. And once upon a time, it was all written down. All 7 of them were kind of mentioned one by one, and then they started removing these 7 laws. So it's not even properly stated now. But there is this thing called Education and Sharing Day, which is supposed to be on Rabbi.
Well, we used to have Arbor Day, and they got rid of that. We used to have Arbor Day, where you'd plant a tree. We got rid of that for some reason. I'm still wondering why we got rid of it. Because, if we had kept Arbor Day and we all went out and planted a tree once a year, guess what? We wouldn't have no carbon footprint. We wouldn't have no CO2 problem, because the trees would have took care of that carbon problem. But we stopped planting trees.
There's a lot of things that we don't do anymore that we should be doing.
The dummies at the WHO and here in the United States, even, they're too fucking stupid to realize, hey, when we stopped planting trees, that allowed the CO2 to get to be a problem. If we'd have kept planting trees like we did on Arbor Day, there wouldn't have been a problem. So they literally created the problem when they got rid of Arbor Day. They literally created the problem. And they're too stupid to understand that. They're too stupid to get it.
Claire was going to say that. What was your point about Education Day with the Lubavitcher Rebbe? What was you getting at?
Well, because there were those 7 no-height laws, and then it was all written down, and then one by one they were removed. So you don't even know what they are now.
We used to have the 10 Commandments written in stone in front of the court buildings. We used to have that in America.
Yeah,
it's still there, isn't it?
No.
We used to, and then the fucking atheists said that it was hurting the feelings.
And got rid of it. Yep.
You have aftermath outside of Supreme Court buildings now.
Yeah.
And then someone destroyed that statue, and they went to prison for hate crime.
Yep, sure did.
Hey, you know that you forget that my Hebrew name is actually literally means freedom. I was born during Passover. My name Dror actually means liberation and freedom. But again, the nuances, the distinctions are that you free yourselves from the state, the satanic state, and the overbearing powers that men give themselves in order to live under God's captivity, and then you are truly free. It sounds like a paradox, but when you live under God's laws and God's rules, that's the true paradise, and that's when you're truly free.
Okay, let's compare the
but
two.
that's not happening even in Israel. Israel is not a no-height nation.
I'm just saying that's the distinction that I make for Vaughn when he's talking about living under God's laws.
Okay, but let's compare the two.
No one lives by their own laws. I mean, it's everyone's a hypocrite in the world. No one does.
You strive for it. You strive for it.
Right, but let's compare the two. Okay. the Torah, the Christian Bible, and the Quran, all three say that America is to be wiped out. It's to be wiped out. It's the whore of Babylon. It's to be wiped out. All three say that. In fact, the Quran is even worse. It calls us the great Satan.
You know, but wait, no. In Hebrew, let me tell you. Let me involve you in something as far as the religious Jews of Israel, and even in the United States. America sounds like phonetically, like in Hebrew we say Uma Reka. Uma Reka. It sounds like America, but we say Uma Reka, an empty nation. Reka means empty. Uma is nation. Uma Reka meaning void and rotten and empty.
All right. Okay. Now that's all three monotheistic religions say America's a piece of shit. It's got to be destroyed. Now, let me tell you what freedom religion, my religion, says. Because I went to them directly because I was crying for my nation. They told me, they said, we're not going to destroy America. We're going to restore America. We're going to get rid of all this sickness, all this evil, all this nasty, all this debauchery, and we're going to clean it up. And then we're going to give it back to you as a clean nation, and you'll all be set free for the first time in over 250 years. You'll be free. You'll literally be free of everything, including.
I'll be honest, that sounds a lot nicer than what Sammy's saying.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's a lot nicer.
All I want is the Jews of America to leave America, to be liberated of America, to be liberated of the modern Babylon.
As long as evil's gone, who cares?
The modern hell on earth.
As long as Jews aren't doing nasty things like push porn
and the ones that need to die there will die there. America will be their deathbed.
Wipe them out.
Their place for basically, their just desserts.
What do you call your religion again, Vaughn?
My religion is called freedom religion. And by the way, that wasn't me that gave that. I gave them 5 names, and they picked freedom religion, because a lot of people come to me and say, well, you call it freedom religion because you're a patriotic American. No, that's not true. I gave them 5 names. They chose freedom religion as the name of the religion. And I said,
very good. I hope that works out for you. I'll tell you something.
Sammy, don't be an asshole. Come on.
I'm not going to be an asshole. The Jews leave America.
That was being condescending to Vaughn.
I'm not being condescending. Good. I'm hoping that works out for you.
Sammy, hold on. Sammy, you can believe what you want to believe, but come on, man. The hostilities, we're not your enemy, man. We're not here to be
we're not the enemy.
We're not being mean to each other.
We're not the enemy. I've told you many times. I hope the Middle East becomes a paradise.
Vaughn has been this whole time. Vaughn has been not saying nothing nice. He's saying I want to get along. I want to hold hands, sing kumbaya. Sure. So you keep pushing the issue that
But I'm not being condescending. I'm telling you something basically.
That was condescending. You say, "Well, good for you, Vaughn." That is straight up being an asshole.
The point is that monotheism doesn't give 2 shits about it.
Yeah, well, you're shitting on my religion now.
No, I'm not.
Why shouldn't I shit on your religion?
No, I'm not. Because am I saying that Israel is a shithole that needs to be?
No, the Jewish religion is monotheistic. It's the original monotheistic religion.
Can you show me in any of the freedom?
All right, it's the one religion that worships the one God. The rest are compromises.
You're not listening.
I actually wouldn't consider Judaism monotheistic. It's
according to the rabbi I talked to, it's not monotheistic. I talked to a rabbi.
Okay, let me rephrase that.
I'm not God, the creator.
The rabbi I talked to said because of the Shema of Judaism, it is not monotheistic.
When you say the Shema, when you say the Shema, listen, O Israel, the Lord, the God is one. Echad. Echad doesn't mean one; it means oneness.
Oneness.
So oneness of a group.
Judaism is more pantheistic or
correct.
No, you know who said it correctly? It was Rudy Rochman. He was confronted by Jews for Jesus, and he used the right expression. It's not pantheism. The oneness of God. He gave it a sort of a fancy name in Latin that refers to something beyond, more monotheistic than monotheism. All right,
the monotheism is limiting. You're actually limiting God when you're saying that.
Yeah, it's beyond monotheism. It's greater than monotheism. All right, but it's not pantheistic. It's not polytheistic, and it doesn't believe in numerous gods.
Well, how do you explain the word Elohim then, which is God's plural? It's literally the plural form of the word God.
The forces of creation that the one God created, they're not separate from one another. They're servants of the one God.
That's not what Elohim means. It says multiple deities, God's plural.
No, not multiple. That's what the pagans
want
to
believe. Means. That's
what we're not pantheistic and we're not polytheistic. You have the forces of creation that are created by the one God, the oneness of God. You have nature, and it has the female and the male, and it has duality, but it doesn't mean that these gods are separate and should be worshipped separately from the one God. They're the forces of creation. You have the angels, you have the heavenly host. They're all part of God's creation, but there's the one God. All right? You don't worship his creation, you worship him. Okay. They're part of his creation.
Okay.
The forces of creation. Okay. That's what the oneness of God refers to. We're greater than monotheism, worshiping just a one God. It's the whole, the entirety of the creation, but we don't worship the creation. We worship the creator.
Well, that's common sense. Obviously, you're not going to worship a created being. That just makes sense. But yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, the three monotheistic religions say that America will be destroyed. My religion, Freedom Religion, says, no, we're going to restore the Great Republic. We're going to liberate America. And then by liberating America, we will liberate all of mankind. We will destroy the elites. We will destroy the New World Order. And you'll know that victory has been won because you'll look out your window and you'll see thousands and thousands of butterflies everywhere, all different shapes, colors, and sizes. There will be no mistaking the fact that we were victorious in what we claimed to do. And that, to me, is a hell of a lot nicer story than what monotheism offers. I'm sorry. It just is.
The official office of secular Quranism asked the question, can we agree that America needs a religion with a book of rules that is compliant with the Noahide laws?
Well,
I like it in theory, but it violates the Constitution.
If the freedom religion, if the gods of freedom religion give me something to put in writing for people, I have no problem doing that. I don't see, the gods of freedom religion have told me they created the United States. And that, so obviously freedom of religion.
We did just have America did actually have an official god. Well, I guess it's more of a goddess. Columbia, the god Columbia. Yeah. The goddess Columbia is the goddess of freedom. She's the goddess.
Well, we saw what happened in Columbia, where that turned into, what ended up with Columbia.
Well, that was because Rothschild corrupted the shit. I mean, the elites corrupt everything they touch. You know that.
The leftists, the liberals, the progressives.
Well, the elites, the 300 elite families.
Bolsheviks,
the
Jews,
the 300 elite families.
And Columbia ended up turning on the Jews after all the fuckery of New York liberalism and Jewry.
Columbus was a Jew. Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Christopher Columbus was a Yid. Think about that for a second.
Wow.
Jewish fuckery backfired on itself in New York via a Columbia pro-Palestine protests.
Well,
what exactly is the problem with ethical monotheism? Is there a problem with ethical monotheism?
Yeah, it's not true.
If you're a good moral person, Don, it's okay to be. If someone's a good moral person, is it okay to be?
If they're a good moral person and they don't harm anybody, freedom of religion allows them to do whatever they want.
Well, not harming it. But guess what? Once America goes through its a process, its cycle, its transition, its reformation, on the other side of it, I'll tell you something. If it involves sodomy, homosexuality, sexual indecency, sexual immorality, or any lenience or a permission of it, America will never be great again, ever.
If those
America will be diminished. It will become less than nothing.
Most favorite president, Donald Trump.
If you do not overcome the debauchery and the degeneracy on the other side of this collapse, America will just decline. It will never serve as an example to anybody. It will be
every nation in history that has accepted homosexuality has failed. Every single one. Ancient Greece, ancient Rome, Sparta, and now the United States. But there's been other nations as well. Any nation that accepts homosexuality. Now, why is that? Hey, your guess is as good as mine.
No, and Bongino explained it very well.
You know what they do in Afghanistan? They bring the tribal chiefs, the Taliban, and all the tribal chiefs. They get together and they have these like 5-year-old, 6-year-old boys come in and gyrate and twerk in front of them.
Right.
And then these tribal leaders and these Taliban leaders, they pick who's their favorite little boy and they rape them. And they buy them. They buy them from the parents, and then they violate them.
Bazi or Boogie Bazi, something like that.
Yeah, Bazi, bang them in the butt, bum, bang them in the butt bone. That's what they.
Bazi,
these are supposed to be Muslims. And think about this one, Claire. These are supposed to be Taliban people that are supposed to be religious extremists. And these people are committing and raping innocent little boys in the butt.
The American troops, while they were there, when they were out in the field, surveilling and doing reconnaissance.
So clear. The Muslims, they're no business. They're no better than the ancient Greeks and the Romans.
You saw the footage.
This is actually a kind of legalistic way, because there is a verse in the Quran that says lewd acts between men are punishable, and lewd acts between
that's why they do it with boys, because
they do it with boys.
Maybe that's a loophole. So
they were taking turns on fucking goats.
Think about the mental anguish of what that boy. He got raped in the ass by a 50-year-old fucking shit-skinned fucking caveman, and he's destroyed for the rest of his life. No wonder Afghanistan is the way it is. No wonder Pakistan.
Even here, the fucking Arab Palestinians, they fuck goats in the fields. They've been caught in the nighttime, fucking sheep and goats.
Yeah.
And these people are supposed to be high IQ'd, and these people are supposed to be God's chosen. No. I don't think so, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think so. I question it. If it is, I question it.
I think a strict adherence to nature is in order, and obviously,
I think saying that's a loophole. It's like the same thing that Jews do. There are some Jews that say, "Oh, a man can't lay with another man." So the Jews, they fuck each other standing up. They sodomize each other standing up, not in a bed. They do it standing up, and they say, "Well, we didn't technically." Mamish, meaning literally fuck. We didn't violate the Torah.
We didn't even lie down.
Not Maimish?
Mamish, literally.
Maimish, you have to say it with the fucking Yiddish. Maimish.
All right, my New York accent, I don't pronounce the letters right. But whatever. It's sickening. It's like, okay, people will do what you know what the truth is? It doesn't matter whether or not you have the book written down, laws written down in the book, Claire. People will do anything and twist and do all types of loops and jumps and through hoops to do what they're going to do. Human beings will find a way to do what they're going to do. Yeah, it don't matter. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it could be against the law to fuck children. It is against the law to fuck children. But Hunter Biden does it anyway. Joe Biden does it anyway. He showers with
Hunter Biden.
Ashley Biden wrote in a diary that Joe Biden used to shower with her when she was 5 years old, 6 years old. He should be in prison. It's against the law. But no, he's the president of the United States, so he gets away with it. So
it's called the evil inclination. It's called the Yetzer Hara. It's called the bestial nature. It's called you call it whatever nature. your natural animalistic bestial side that you find.
There is nothing natural about homosexuality.
No. It's not natural. I'm just saying that's like the impulse that you find. It's an animalistic.
You mean
impulse.
Animalistic? Yeah,
animalistic impulse that you find in people.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm saying now, and you might find it to be distasteful, but when you have God's revelation and the Messiah, the arrival of the Jewish Messiah, the absolutism is the evil inclination is put to death. The Gentiles are subdued. They no longer can do evil.
Oh, that sounds like
fun. No longer do evil. You can no longer be fucking gay. You can no longer fuck goats. You can no longer fuck kids. The evil is put to an end by God's absolute declaration and hand.
I think I'm going to call it a day. I want to put it to an end. Before I put myself to the end.
Amen.
Let's call it a day. We went on for 3 hours.
Yeah, 3 hours and 30 minutes. That's a long time.
I need to rest.
That's not as long as my video, but I mean it's pretty good.
I want to say thank you to Claire. So let's give Claire the final statement since she was a guest. Claire,
that's right.
What do you want to say for the folks out there? Promote your show, by the way. We're on Twitter. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. You can find all my details on Linktree, and my book available on Amazon. Secular Quranism, Sharia for non-Muslims. I'm saying having rules is better than not having any rules at all, and not having any rules means we allow Congress to make up the rules as it goes along, and it won't be in our favor. And I think having rules is the only way to hold our ruling classes accountable for what they do to us. Otherwise, they literally will make up the rules as they go along, and that is a problem. Thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me speak. Thank you, and good night.
Good night, Claire.
You have a pleasant day and better tomorrow, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.